majored in electrical engineering. I was in the very first year of IPPD, which was 1995 to 1996.
My name is Ryan Parry. My major was aerospace engineering. I was in IPPD for 2000 and 2001.
I joined IPPD because I wanted to get industry experience, wanted to be able to work on real projects. One of the things that you find out when you get into industry is that all the things that you learn in school are totally needed and they're a very important foundation, but they don't always teach you what you have to do day to day to be an engineer. And being in IPPD kind of helped me and the people that were in IPPD on my team with me learn how to get that real world experience, how to work on a real project, and how to kind of get that first bit of learning that most people have to get on the job. We got it while we were still in school.
I joined, it was actually part of our core curriculum, so we got to choose between two different branches, and IPPD was actually a cross-functional team that really applied to industry, and I could tell that the actual companies coming in and looking at resumes really appreciated the leadership and technical background, so I knew that that was a leg up on other students. So I joined, and it was the first opportunity I had to really be on a cross-functional team.
Several reasons. I mean, one of the reasons is we really want to get that experience, that real world experience, and learn how to work with industry. But another thing that really benefited me was when you work on a project like IPPD, when you sit down and you interview or talk to people at a career fair, you have very relevant information that makes it very easy to get the attention, positive attention of employers. So it really made, for me, whenever I had interviews or whenever I went to these fairs, it was very easy for me to talk about things that the employers that were seeking candidates were really interested to hear.
Because of the exposure it gives you, so I just realized as an employer that there's a wonderful database of all the students with a cover letter and resumes, and it provides background that I can easily go look for potential candidates and reach out to those candidates well before a career fair or any other events that are going on. So, in the commercial world, we actually have needs that don't always align perfectly with career fairs, and this gives us another opportunity to reach out to the students and make a connection.
Some of the things I learned are things that I would have learned on the job anyway, about how to do basic project management. But some of the things that we learned in IPPD, such as Pew and the House of Quality and those sorts of things, not everybody in industry maybe knows how to do those things. And so I got to learn things in IPPD that when I got to industry, I was able to bring something that really wasn't there, and was able to help teams beyond the people that were there and were kind of the experts. So, learning this broad set of things on how to develop a product, really helped me out in a lot of different ways.
Well, I will say it was my first exposure from aerospace engineering curriculum and taking that and actually working with the other features and facets of engineers to actually be on a cross-functional team. And it was honestly a true experience of what my first year in actual corporate world was like. So for me, it was a great experience because I got a taste of what my future was going to look like the next year, and it really helped me assimilate much faster.
Well, when I graduated, actually one of the other big things that happened to me, which was great out of IPPD, was I got an internship the summer prior to the start of IPPD. And so I got to work with my sponsor company, learn how they did things, and then kind of had familiarity when we started the project to be able to help bridge the gap between the students and the company. So sort of having that inside information helped me out. I then actually went, after IPPD, I went to graduate school here at Florida and got a master's in EE. At the time, I was actually a research assistant for IPPD for a couple of years, and when I got out, I did go to work for my sponsor company, did a lot of really fun work in circuit board design, analog, digital, and power supply design of circuit boards, which is something I really enjoy. After several years at that company, I got to move to Honeywell, which is where I've been now for just a little over 15 years. I did a lot of heavy power supply and analog design, which is again circuit board design. Then moved into systems engineering role, where you kind of have a more oversight for the whole team. So rather than just focusing on the electrical design, I had responsibility for mechanical engineers, reliability, production engineers, really a whole team, and trying to help lead that whole team to create a successful design, test it, and be able to deliver it to the customer. And I became the technical director of what we call a national program, basically a program that's a national asset for the government. And beyond that, I was able to then transition back into electrical design, and now I oversee power supply designs that we do all across aerospace.
My path has taken many turns. I started out with Honeywell, and I'm still with Honeywell, currently as a technical manager, but my path started out in systems engineering. So I joined a small group, it was called Range Safety Systems. As a very young engineer, I had a ton of exposure to different products. I actually got asked to build a command destruct system for different launch vehicles, and it was a mobile system that we took around the world. It took about 6 or 7 years to get that designed and implemented. And like all good projects in engineering, we didn't quite hit our deadline. And so I got to travel with the product and integrate it on site at our customer up in Alaska. Took probably 25-ish trips, I think I lost count, but we got full certification, and that system's still active today. And so that was my first big exposure. Did some systems work on different missiles and interceptors, guidance products, and now I'm a technical manager for platform COE with Honeywell. So I've run all kinds of different paths, but it all started with IPPD.